I just heard a really loud bird. Hi, it's Texi. It's been a while since I did any kind of bookish videos, so I decided it's about time I make one of those again. So as you can see, I got a tattoo. I guess when this video goes up, it'll be like a bit over a week ago. Now it's been like almost a week. And it's related to one of my favorite books, The Bone Witch. So I thought it could be fun to just kind of talk about my favorite books in general, because I can never talk enough about them, so this is my excuse. I thought it would also give me something to do if I do my makeup while I do that. Because I probably would have done my makeup anyway, and if I do it while I film, it'll just save me some time. It's kind of like I used to make art videos and then do a voice over them, except now it's like more real time and I'm just doing weird stuff on my eyes, because I guess I can't really do art videos right now because my hand is still not quite healthy. But thankfully makeup is something I can do, so it's my new creative outlet, so enjoy my weird attempts at it, because I'm really not that good. But yeah, once again a really long intro. Okay, so favorite books. Let's start with The Bone Witch, since that's kind of what inspired this whole thing. The trilogy is actually right there, kind of on the edge of the frame, but I love that series a lot. It's actually like the first book series that I read from start to finish while it was still like being released, rather than the whole series already being out. So it was fun to actually get to follow it along like that. And if you don't know what The Bone Witch is about, it's like about this girl who discovers that she has the powers to raise the dead by accidentally resurrecting her big brother after he died at war or something. Oh, and the author is Rin Chupeka, that's important. But yeah, then once people figure out she has those powers, she's basically an Asha, that's what the magical people are called in this world. She is taken to like a bigger city to be trained, and she learns all the things that Asha need to know. But also because she's a dark Asha, that's what the people who raise the dead are called. There's kind of a bit of a stigma around that, so I guess people fear her a little bit, because most magical people are more like elemental type magic users. I just really enjoy the story a lot, because the main character Thea is a really cool character, and it has this dual timeline going on, so it's technically two stories. Like, one is where Thea is a bit older and she's like telling her story, which is like the actual chapters of the book, from like her start as an Asha to how she ends up where she is. I really love that series, okay. Also, one thing that's really interesting about the world is that everyone has these heart's glass things, which is basically what my tattoo is. They're basically these necklace type things, I think. And they're different colors depending on if the person has magic or not. And for like completely normal people, they are different shades of red or pink, I think. And for people who have a little bit of magic, people who can like make enchanted clothing or jewelry and stuff, it's purple. And then for actual Asha, it's silver. And there's also a black variation, but I can't really get into what that means because it's spoilers. But that's what the that's what the heart's glass on my chest is, because, well, it's no secret the future Thea has a black one. I think it's just a really cool thing, because Asha can actually read other people's heart's glass, so they can tell if people have illnesses or something based on the colors. And that's really cool. The series has a lot of LGBT characters too. There's like at least one lesbian couple, and there's gay characters, and one trans character, and this one I actually didn't find out until later, but there's also one ace character. It wasn't like super obvious, so I didn't realize until later. But Rin has confirmed it, so he's there. What should I talk about next? This is just gonna be the Bone Witch, the video. But that's not a bad thing. Bone Witch is great, you should read it. To be honest, you should just read all of Rin's books because they are all amazing. There's The Girl from the Well, if you like horror. I actually really like that one, even though I'm like a total wuss and I can't do horror stuff at all. But it's like this story from the perspective of a ghost. So that's something I hadn't really seen before, and it was really cool. And I don't know, I was just totally hooked. I'm about to start reading the sequel to it actually. There's The Never Tilting World, which is about these goddess twins, and The Never Tilting World actually also has a really cool world because it's like the world has stopped spinning, so on one side of the planet it's always day and on the other side it's always night, so it's really neat. And her most recent book is Wicked As You Wish, and that's like, that one is really hard to describe because it's like a bunch of fairy tales, and there's also a lot of stuff related to like Filipino culture because Rin is from the Philippines and the main character of Wicked As You Wish is Filipino as well. And there's a lot of stuff. Basically like it's an alternate version of our world where magic is a thing. And it's really interesting to say the least. It's just extremely hard to explain. What should I talk about next? Oh, Naomi Novik. Yes, I'm gonna do her next because actually she has a new book coming out like really soon, Deadly Education. And I'm really excited about that because I really loved her couple of her previous books, Uprooted and Spinning Silver. They are like some of my absolute favorites. Uprooted is about this girl who gets chosen by this wizard guy called the Dragon to go to his tower. He like picks a new girl every 10 years to take to his tower, and no one really knows what he does with them there, but it's nothing bad. He's just really terrible people person, so his reputation is questionable. But yeah, whoa, this turned out really intense. Uh-oh. Uprooted is just really fun because the villain of the story is basically a forest, which is kind of terrifying, I guess. And it has really interesting magic system, at least in my opinion. Because like for most people it's like they need to do things like totally by the book to be good at it. And then there's the main character Agnieszka, and she just kind of feels her way around and it just works, and the dragon is totally upset by that because she's not doing it right, and he doesn't understand why it works anyway. It's a standalone book too, so it's really easy to get into in that sense. But I feel like it could work as a series, but it's nice that it's not, since then it's really easy for people to pick up since it's not a big commitment. Spinning Silver is also a standalone, and also these both books are inspired by like Eastern European folklore stuff. Actually main character is Jewish, or one of the main characters is. So that was really cool to me because I don't think I had read any books specifically about Jewish characters before, so I feel like I learned a lot while reading it. So yeah, it's just a really cool book. It's actually great for winter because it's like full on winter vibes, because there are these winter fae type creature called Staruk, and they are kind of forcing their winter to humans too, and that's making things kind of rough for people. And then the main character, I think her name was Miriam, it's been a while, but she's a moneylender's daughter, and she's really good at that job. So she kind of gets this reputation that she can like turn stuff into gold basically. When the Stark discover her, they kind of make her do some stuff for them, like exchanging their silver into like obnoxious amounts of gold. She kind of ends up having to deal with them. And then there's this another character that's sent off to marry an awful prince, or I guess Tsar, something like that. She also ends up kind of in the whole Stark thing, and stuff happens. It's a really cool book, honestly. I feel like I'm also really terrible at explaining these, but oh well. I hope I make sense. But basically Naomi Novik's books are really cool, and I'm really excited for her next one because I think it's gonna be a series. At least maybe 2 or 3 books, I'm not sure. But it sounds really interesting because it's like about this magic school. Except, well, it's called Deadly Education, so you can kind of guess it's gonna be a bit more intense than your usual magic school. I feel like I can't get away from talking about my favorite books without mentioning Outlander, even though it's probably a bit of a problematic favorite compared to the others. Because, yeah, I have read the whole damn huge book series and I really love the TV show. If you don't know Outlander, it's by Diana Gabaldon, and it's about this woman who goes on her honeymoon technically her second honeymoon, because I think she got like married right before World War II, and then she and her husband kind of got separated because of that, because they both were part of the war. She was a nurse and her husband was some kind of soldier or spy or something. So after the war they go on a second honeymoon in Scotland, and then she finds these, or actually they find this stone circle, and she goes there like another day to collect some flowers, and she ends up touching one of the stones and gets sent off to like 18th century Scotland, and there she meets Jamie, and they are kinda forced to get married because of some circumstances, but then they end up falling in love for real. And I don't know, I really enjoy the story, and I especially love the TV show because it has some seriously great costume design and stuff, because they try to make it as historically accurate as they possibly can. I have to warn about Outlander that it comes with some pretty heavy trigger warnings, because there's multiple rape storylines, so yeah, that's unfortunate. So if that's something you absolutely can't stomach, then stay away from them, honestly. And there's just a lot of violence in general because wars happen, and also just gory stuff in general because Claire is a nurse, so she treats people a lot. So there's gory medical details and also sex and violence. That's Outlander. So yeah, if that's something you don't like, don't read Outlander or watch. But honestly, the TV show is really good, and it's a bit easier to get into than the books because the books are massive. What else do I like? Do I even know myself? Oh, Forest of 1,000 Lanterns, I need to talk about that one. So that one's by Julie Sedow, and it's well, Forest of 1,000 Lanterns is Evil Queen or Wicked Queen, I can't remember which one it is, but a retelling of that. So the main character kinda becomes a villain over time, and I just really enjoyed that book. because the main character Shifeng she's so complex. I enjoy it because she starts out pretty normal, like kind of a good girl. Basically her goal is to become the empress because she has been convinced that's her destiny or something, and she does just that. And I think her journey to that is just really interesting because she doesn't get there the nicest way. It's done in a way that you keep rooting for her even though she's obviously doing bad things. So yeah, Forest of a Thousand Lanterns is really cool, and it also has a sequel that's from the perspective of the original Empress's daughter, and that's basically a Snow White retelling, which is also really fun, but I think I like Forest of a Thousand Lanterns more just because it's from like a villain's perspective, and I guess that's a thing I really enjoy. I think I'm gonna end this video by talking about a book I finished literally just last night because it was amazing. It's definitely going on my list of favorites. The book I'm talking about is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, and basically I feel like this is gonna be a mistake. Anyway, These Violent Delights it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and the main characters in this are heirs of two gangs, like gangster type thing, in 1920s Shanghai. And yeah, the two gangs are like epic rivals. And then there's this madness things that starts happening all over the city, and it's mainly taking out like members of their gangs, so they are like wondering what's causing it, and they are trying to figure it out. And the main characters Juliet and Roma, they decide to work together, even though technically they shouldn't because it would be kind of considered being a traitor. The whole madness thing is really freaky because it's basically this thing that causes people to tear their own throats out. So that book is gory as hell. But I just enjoyed it a lot because it's another one of those stories where the main characters are really complex, like especially Juliet, because like she has this reputation of being like super cold-hearted, and if you cross her she'll just kill you and that kind of stuff. And I love that she actually does live up to that reputation a little bit, because it would be a shame if she didn't. I feel like some books kind of do that they kind of say some character is super badass and stuff, and then she does nothing to kind of show it. But Juliet definitely does. She's not one to be messed with, that's for sure. But she also does have some level of like conscience, so she's not just killing people just to be evil. So she's a really interesting character, and just in general she has kind of a interesting identity, because I think she lived a huge part of her life in like Western countries, so obviously she has like picked up a lot of that culture, but also she is very proud of being Chinese, and like she has kind of a interesting thing going on there. Like people don't recognize her if she dresses up in more like traditional Chinese clothing instead of like more flapper girl stuff, because she's so known for that. Yeah, the book was really cool, that's all I can say. And it's actually not out yet, it's gonna be released in November, so if it sounds like something you're interested in, then you should definitely go for it, because it's really well written and it's really interesting and it's just really good. I'm probably gonna do like a full video just about these violent delights at some point, since, well, it was an arc, so I'm gonna have to review it anyway. So I might as well do like a full video about it. But just so you know, I really loved it and it's definitely a favorite of mine now. And also the book is just, it looks stunning, so what's not to love? I can't think of other books to talk about in this video, but those were some of my absolute favorites that I guess most people know me for. That like actually talk about books with me regularly. I guess what we can take away from this is that I'm really into complex main characters that might not be completely nice people. I just heard a really loud bird, like a little squeak. I think I rambled on enough. I can't even remember what books I covered anymore. Yeah, I hope you found some favorites from this video as well. Oh yeah, that's my eyes done. I'm a mess. But yeah, feel free to recommend me your favorites too, if you think I might like them, based on what I have listed here. And I hope you like this, I don't know, very rambly video while I make a mess on my eyes. It was kinda chill, because I'm just sitting on the floor trying to do eyeshadow while talking about books. I might make this a thing, and I'm sorry in advance, because I'm no beauty guru, so I just make a mess on my eyeballs. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!